All right. So tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
I'm Abea Doloth Yao. I am the oldest of 12 children of my mother and my father and stepfather, I guess you could say, because
Yep.
there's two,
A combination.
yeah.
Yes.
Most of my family lives in Lubbock, Texas. I was living in Mineral, Virginia, and I moved here to the Philippines
Ooh.
February 26, 2023.
Wow. So that's amazing. 12. You're the oldest of 12.
Oldest of 12.
What is that like, having the authority over them children?
More like I stayed gone most of the time because I didn't want to watch them children. No, that was too much.
Wow, wow. So tell us about, in the family of 12, that's a big house. How do you operate? How big was the house? Tell us a little bit more.
I believe it was 3-bedroom, 2-story house. My parents took I guess you could say we're supposed to be like the dining room, and turned that into their bedroom. And then us kids upstairs, my brother got his own room, which is the only boy in the whole family.
Wow.
The only
11
boy.
girls and
Yeah.
one boy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's the only boy. And then at that time. And then I had my own room. And then my 3 sisters, the youngest ones that were all living there with us, they all had to share one room. And then I have 3 stepsisters.
Wow.
Which we don't hardly ever see or talk to. But they're there.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, animals. We're talking about Parvo. And most of you who are watching, if you watch my video, this video right here, I'll post it out in the chat, you will see that we just lost our dog from Parvo. And I am here talking to Abea because I wouldn't say she's an expert, but she has so much knowledge and taking care of animals. And, if we had spoken to her prior to, our dogs would have probably been saved. Right. So tell us a little bit about animals. But before you do that, where are you now? Where are you living now?
I live in Mindanao, Philippines.
Philippines. Tell us about that. How did you arrive and from the States to the Philippines, and why?
I came here because the Rok of Yao came upon me and told me I needed to leave.
Wow. How? Explain that. How did you get
I was watching one of the ravenous birds videos, leaving by wings. And when I went to stand up, I'm getting chills. And when I went to stand up, all of a sudden my whole body just seized up. The Rok had grabbed a hold of me. And not only was it telling me what that verse meant, come out of her, my people, I was also seeing it. It was like a double type thing. And I knew what it was after it was said and done and over with. I didn't freak out because I knew exactly who it was.
Wow.
And when I had came, from having, because it really drew nothing but my attention. I couldn't hear nothing else around me. I couldn't see nobody else around me. All I could do was focus on what he was showing me and what he was telling me at the same time. And when I came out of it, I was like, well, it's official. I'm out of here. I give myself 6 months and I'm out of here. I'm going to the Philippines.
Wow, we're gonna have to explore that. We're gonna have to do that second interview because I definitely want to explore the name and how your transition. Today we're talking about Parvo because I believe in this community of ours here, and that's just why it's so important for you guys to hear the next one because, in this community here, we have dogs, and we want to find out what can we do if you don't have the finance to take your dog to the vet, and what you can do to save their lives. So tell us a little bit about your experience with animals.
I've been around animals off and on since I was a child, but I didn't have my very own dog until I was in my 30s. And so I only had the one dog, but I also was help raising goats. And I was pinning up the mama goats with their babies. And I had chickens, and I had a duck who thought he was a chicken. I mean, this duck literally thought he was a freaking chicken.
Raised by
I
chickens.
was like, he wouldn't let nobody get near him, so because he wanted to, he thought he was a chicken. And there, I guess he thought he was laying eggs too, and there were the chickens. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go get him a friend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up moving away from there before I had a chance to do all that. But anyways, after I moved, I had gotten another dog, so it would keep my one dog, you know, company. And so he ended up with Parvo. And so I took him to the vet. They did a test. The vet said it was positive for Parvo. They wanted to charge me $900 just to start out with for an IV, and just to keep them for one night.
Wow. What year was this?
This was probably in 2011 or 12, I want to say, somewhere around in there.
Just check. The reason why I asked you that question is because of the price. I wanted to see. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
$900.
And the vet that I went to, I had gotten some shots for my one dog there before, and it was so reasonable, cheaper than any vet that was in the county where I lived. So I could only imagine if he's saying 900, how much are
more?
These other vets would they charge? Yeah.
So I'm assuming, based upon what our conversation is, that you lived in the countryside.
At the time, yes, I lived out in the country.
Awesome. So $900 was a stretch.
Yeah, that was just for one night and one bag of IV fluid, and I was like, no, there's got to be something better.
And what did you do after that?
I just took him home with me, and I was like, I got to figure this out. And so I was talking to a friend of mine. His wife, me and her were friends. And so they've had dogs that had Parvo, 3 or 4 of them at one time. And they explained to me what Parvo actually is. And he's like, when you learn what it is, then you know how to treat it. So once he explained everything to me and told me how he did his animals and everything, because all of them lived.
Whoa.
So I did the exact same thing with my dog. And it took about a week for him to come around and come out of it. But he didn't die. He lived. And I was so tired afterward. But you know what? It was really worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have to be attentive to them 24/7 while they're sick like that. Because the more they throw up, the more you got to keep giving them liquids into their body because they're throwing all that up.
All right. So how do you administer that? How do you administer the care?
Well, most dogs aren't just, they're not going to be like, well, you give them a bowl of water or whatever and be like, here, drink this for me. They're not going to want to, because they want to curl up in a ball, be left alone, and just be left there, because they're just going to lay there and die if you allow them to. You literally have to pick them up and swaddle them like in a towel or a baby blanket, just like you would a newborn with, you know, their paws on the inside, all the way up to their neck. Because you want to be able to, you know, hold them to where that they can't just, you know, get out of it. Sometimes it might take 2 people. Just depends on how big the animal is. But you get one of those children's medicine syringes that has the plunger and stuff on it.
Okay.
And like, you just take it and you give as much as you think that they need at that time.
Water.
Into them. No. You either want to use chicken broth, beef broth, or you can use like Pedialyte for children because it's electrolytes.
Okay.
And because that's going to be your 3 main components that you're going to want, because it has all of that stuff in it that they need for hydration.
So what about food? How do you feed them?
They don't eat the whole time they're sick, because if they do decide to eat, it's just going to be diarrhea everywhere.
So during that whole process, you have to give them
liquids.
You
have to get them, somehow get it into them. Like I was saying, swallow them up like a baby. And with that syringe, just, you know, I would give like 10 full syringes at one time, and then see how the dog keep that down. And if they was able to keep that down 15, 20 minutes later, I'm giving them some more. because you
20 minutes later.
Yes, you want to make sure that they're getting enough of this liquid in their body, because they can still go pee or whatever.
Right.
But you want to make sure that they are getting plenty of liquids, because you're going to go through a lot of the Pedialyte or the chicken broth or the beef bone broth. You're going to go through a lot of it.
Wow.
But that right there is the key of helping your dog get over, because they're also going to run a fever. Because it's just like you and I, if we had the flu. Mm-hmm. It's the same way for the dog, and cats are carriers of it too.
Oh.
Yes. So what you want to do is keep them very hydrated and comfortable. And of course, a lot of times they're still going to be throwing up what you just gave them. And when they throw it up, you give them some more. You're constantly just giving them hydration into that body. And even in the middle of the night, you want to get up in the middle of the night and give them some more.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So what will happen when you sleep like 8 hours? You still got to monitor them throughout the day.
You still got to monitor them.
So what if you have to go to work and
then you probably would need to have somebody that you can trust, that that would come over or stay with your animal, and every couple of hours or whatever it is that you decide, when to give the fluids to them, if they would be willing to give it to them for you.
Okay.
So
in other words, you can't really have any lapse time.
Not really, because Parvo works super fast. Like, I've seen dogs get it and be dead the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Parvo works extremely fast, and it can be extremely deadly, and it's very contagious. It's not contagious to humans, but it's contagious to other animals.
So, how do you prepare your home, or after, how do you do that?
What, like after everything?
Well, before we go there, the cleaning process, I know that's one thing.
Yes.
But how long do you administrate your method on that sick animal?
You'll know when they're going to be okay is when they want to get up and eat. Like when they're wanting to drink water on their own, or, be like, because you always, you put down some dog food, like if they're eating the hard food or whatever, because that's how I was feeding mine. He just got up, walked over to his food bowl, started eating, and then started wagging his tail. But every dog's different.
So you said beef broth. We understand the liquid. We understand that
Yes.
process. But at any time, do you break up the dog food and put it in a syringe? And
No.
You can't give them no solid food at that
No,
point.
because they're just going to poop it out with blood everywhere. And that can
the
be
stomach is sensitive.
very sensitive.
Okay, that's very important. So
Yeah.
tell us one more time again, what do you feed them so that the audience, those who are watching you, can know this is what you do and don't do nothing else, but this is what you do.
Well, you don't feed them any food. You just give them chicken broth, children's Pedialyte, or you give them beef bone broth, which you can actually make all of that in your own kitchen. Like, when you're making homemade chicken soup, instead of putting all the ingredients in it, just make the chicken broth, from fresh chicken or whatever. But I know some dogs, like the dog I have now, he's allergic to chicken, and some dogs have that allergy to chicken. It causes them itch all over and just, different things. So I would, if your dog or animal is like that, I wouldn't give them anything pertaining to chicken. I would stick with the beef or the Pedialyte. Now, there have been some times where at that time, I gave my dog some clear, how would you say, Gatorade, but I don't think they have the clear Gatorade here in the Philippines. So what we have is the Bacardi Select. You can also do that too, because that's nothing but electrolytes in that bottle. They can have that as well. It's not going to harm them.
Wow. Yeah, I know for us, when our dog had Parvo, it cost us about a little bit under $30,000. 30,000. I always say dollars, because
I got to catch myself too. Yeah.
It costs about 30,000 pesos, to get our dogs. I know when Gasha when we brought Gasha, she was more sicker than you know. This our second dog has so many names. I don't even know what his name is anymore. Like Little Man. I call him Puppet because his face looked like a puppet. And when they string him up, they shave his wrist if it's
where they put
So he just looked like a puppet. So I stopped calling him Puppet. But you know, when we brought him in, we had to pay 10,000 pesos just to administer them for the first day. And then when Gasha died, Gasha cost us about, it was 8,000, 9,000, almost 10,000. You know, just with the care and everything, it was 10,000 pesos. And then we left Puppet in there, and Puppet cost us another 15 or 18,000. So at the end, but the good thing is that, you know, they administer it, and, you know, he was a little stronger, I guess, and he came up through it. And when we brought him home, they give us the medicine, and we give them the medicine through the syringe. And, you know, we do that twice a day, and it was beautiful to watch him, you know, just recover and playing. And then when he started to eat food, and one of the signs that they told us to watch for is, you know, his poop. They didn't want us to give him a lot of food because like it's sensitive stomach. So we have to watch and see once he starts pooping hard, and then we watch it. It was watery for a while, and then it just started getting hard, and we were awesome. And then we stopped feeding him, and then it's beautiful.
Because they'll let you know when they feel like they want to eat. And you just go ahead and just let them have it because they know their bodies better than we do. Just like we know our bodies better than they know ours. You know, kind of thing. So like when they're ready to eat, just allow them to eat because they know their bodies better than we know their bodies, just like we know our bodies better than what they know our bodies. Make sense?
That makes sense.
So like when they're ready to eat, they know when they're hungry and they're going to be able to eat. Start them off with something like soft canned food or soft meat. You know, or something, whatever the dog likes that you feed them. Don't give them nothing that's going to be harder on their stomach. Wait a little bit longer to give them that hard, crunchy food for maybe like a couple of days or so, because it's like if we're fasting and we go to eat something, what happens? It can upset our stomach and make us not feel good, and then we're sitting on the throne for a while, because their stomach's upset. Same way with them. They have a sensitive stomach from being sick. So just give them soft food when they first start eating for like a day or two or so, and they'll let you know. And if it's still doing the same way that it was doing, then maybe they wasn't quite ready. But you got to do it slowly because they've got to get that infection out of their body.
Awesome. All right. So this seems like the information we need, and what it seems to me like it really takes patience.
It does, because I got frustrated. You're going to get frustrated, and they are going to try to like fight with you, because it's just like a child. No, I'm not doing that. You know, they get that little attitudes and everything. Animals go through that too. If they don't want to be messed with and they don't feel good, they're going to be like, no, I'm not taking that. Get away from me. Let me down. Let me down. That's why I said you got to smother them, like, you know, cover them like a newborn baby, so that way you're giving them that liquid,
more control,
but do it not real fast, because you don't want them to choke on it, but you want them to get all that you can give them into their body.
So the time span from you find out the parvo till the actually recovery of the parvo, how long is the span of dedication?
It usually really depends on the dog, because every dog doesn't get it as bad as the next one. Some will get it super bad, and some will get it kind of not so bad, and then you got some that'll be like in the middle. Now, my dog, when he had it, it took a whole week.
7
days. I was taking care of him nonstop for them 7 days. It takes a lot of patience, because I got aggravated with him because he was fighting me. He wasn't small like the dog that I have here, Yakar. He was bigger.
Big dog.
Yeah, he was bigger. Like this dog would get on the coffee table, spin around, and chase his tail. So I mean, he was supposed to have been a little dog. I don't know what happened when they gave me the dog. Somebody lied
Somebody
somewhere.
lied to you.
Yeah. So he was he was just a puppy, and he was already big.
Wow, wow. All right. So if you have vacation, maybe that's time to use it.
Yeah.
And if you have a dedicated person at home, maybe it's time to use for them to use that. So
and I wouldn't allow your children, if you have children, to be around them at that time while they're sick, just so that you're protecting the child and the animal. Because I know some animals, when they don't feel good, they tend to want to snap. And you know how little kids, they want to pull the ear, or or just whatever, or the tail, and they don't want to be messed with. So my advice is to keep them separated, so that way you're protecting animal and the child.
Okay.
From all of that.
Now tell us a little bit about the cleaning process, because I understand that Parvo can live in your house for years.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the cleaning process.
So like if your animal got Parvo from like your yard, cats are a carrier of Parvo. So if you got a fence and everything and animals are climbing over your fence into your yard, you've already got Parvo in the yard. There's no getting rid of it. It's there for, I don't exactly know how long it can actually live, but I know it can be there for a very long time. Like the same way with your house, like your bedding, the dog's beds, all that stuff, you're going to want to sanitize it, or get the color for clothes bleach, or whatever you need to do. You want to sanitize everything. You want to use bleach to clean your floors with. The dog's water bowls that they were drinking out of. I mean, not to say, because the animal generally doesn't get Parvo a second time after the first time.
That is good news.
Yeah.
That is good news.
But it's really important for you to get your puppies vaccinated with all the Parvo shots. Because because some dogs still get Parvo, but when they've had the vaccines, it doesn't affect them a lot. Some dogs it can, some dogs it don't really bother them. Now, if your dog's over a year old, well, then you don't really have to worry about it, because I haven't known a dog that's over a year old to get Parvo.
Yes, that's what
But
they
it's
said.
when they're from birth to their year old is when they're acceptable to everything. And I'm not really an advocate for vaccines.
Come on now.
Because, like, if we know that vaccines are not good for the human body that they give,
Come on now.
how bad is it to give it to your animal? Does it not harm them?
Yeah.
Because I've also learned that most of the medications for, like, how would you say, like we get amoxicillin and that kind of stuff. Well, animals kind of like that is actually more harmful to them than what ours is for them. But that's another whole ball game, because you got to know how to break down to give them the right dose. Because they can get hurt from it if you don't know what the heck you're doing. Awesome. That took a lot of time to figure out.
I'm definitely with you on that. When it comes to vaccine, I'm not an advocate for vaccine.
I'm not either.
I grew up getting vaccine. I got the polio shots, I got the measles, the mumps, I got it all, right? And I still got a mark on my hand here from a vaccine. If you can see it, it's...
Yeah.
I still got a mark. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, just look at this. You're barely there now. It's like right there. You know what I mean? I got a mark from it, from the vaccine, but those shots was when mumps and measles and chickenpox, and I got all those shots, but not at my own. I was a young boy when I got it. But as I grew up and I recognized with the vaccine, I just like I'm not an advocate for vaccine. But let me look right in the camera and tell you guys this, because when it comes to getting a shot for your dog, I'm with it, because I believe that if we had stop and get the shot for our dogs, we probably still would have her today. So though I'm not an advocate for vaccines, I understand the importance, especially when you have younger dogs. And our dog was young, and we now lost 2 dogs, because the first time he was sick, we didn't even know what it was. We took him to the doctor, and then they tried to revive him, and and get him better, and then they give him all kind of pain killers, and 5 minutes later he was dead. And then this other one now, so and it's hurt. I never thought I would feel the kind of pain and anger towards, the fact that I lost my dog.
Yeah.
So yes, if you have a small dog, get the vaccines for them. But outside of that, the result, cleaning. We did a cleaning. We gotta make sure we clean the house, and it's in the yard. So
there's not much you can do about the yard.
Okay.
And the ground, the dirt, the grass. There's not we can do about any of that because I don't think they make anything for that.
Okay. So when do you let your dog back out in the especially the dogs
whenever they want to go back out, because usually from my experience, once they've had it once, they won't get it again.
I'm afraid to let my dog out. I have to give him a shot. I have to go over there and get a vaccine for him now. So I want to give him that one vaccine.
Yeah.
Because after that, now
I would go ahead and I would still be cautious, because he just barely even got from
over
being sick. Yeah.
So
I would go ahead and give him that. Let him go ahead and do that. That way he's more protected, even though he's already had it.
I'm gonna take him down and get him a shot. Hopefully today or tomorrow. I'm gonna do it.
I paid 400 pesos. Or was it 400? No, that was the rabies shot I paid 400 pesos for. Because I freaking hate shots.
Mm-hmm.
But here in the Philippines,
yes,
it's the law. It doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or not a foreigner. You have to have the dog's shots for rabies, because you can get in a lot of trouble because it's actually breaking their laws. Because there's a lot of locals that believe that dogs are born with rabies. And I was like, no, actually, they're really not born with rabies. They can contract rabies.
Yes.
And I've even talked to a couple vets here about it since then. And they was like, no, that's just something that the elders would always tell their children way back when. So it got started from there. Now so many of them believe that.
All right.
And he's like, but you're right. They're not born with it.
All right. There you have it, folks. This is my sister right here, and I'm so glad and happy that we have someone among us who can teach us about animals. Where I've come from in Jamaica, I was born in Jamaica, and where I came from, when it comes to animals, they never came in the house, they never sleep on the bed, they never be in the yard. No, they stay outside, right? So now we have animals now, and they become a part of our lives, they become a part of our family, they're literally like children in our house. And it's good to know that we have a sister among us that can teach us what we need to do and help us with this process. So thank you, Abea, for giving us your information, because we're going to call you now the animal whisperer amongst the animal whisperer amongst the nation. That's it. The animal whisperer amongst the nation. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do right now, she talks about the name Yao. And I want to do a second interview with her while I have her. I might as well just kill, the bird with, two birds with one stone. And we're going to talk about her experience in the nation living amongst black people, right? Living amongst this cult. Yeah. Some of you believe that we are a cult. I believe that here now living in the Philippines, I've proven that we're not a cult. So take it from a person who is not black and living amongst us because of the name Yao. Stay tuned for that. Until next time. Thank you very much. Peace.